You both deserve the utmost congratulations to all of you who produced Sacred Soil, the Piney Woods Schools Story in collaboration with Anscape, set to stream on Hulu and Disney Plus. I'm Zenaria Bowens, a journalist and owner of Zanhalitha TV, a digital platform in Houston, Texas, where I serve my community, highlighting achievement in the face of adversity. We must take note of W.E.B. Du Bois and his philosophy, quoting, "Now is the accepted time, not tomorrow and not some more convenient season." And that's what I took away from watching this film. And I want to begin with you, JJ Anderson, as a passionate storyteller focusing on Black and Brown communities. Why is it crucial to show the inception of the Piney Woods School Story today, especially when investing in the place or its people?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to be honest with you, I feel like this story is long overdue. I do. Of course, it is of the time, but this documentary is important every day, right? Piney Woods School, founded in 1909, was designed for Black children, for children of the formerly enslaved to be empowered, right? To kind of take back their power in terms of working with land, working in vocational practices, industrial practices, but also, just intellectually, right? And I think that reigns true today for these kids and the work that Dr. Crossley does. A school like Piney Woods is so special because every inch of the curriculum is designed for these kids' empowerment and for their betterment. But this place is unlike any other place. And to be able to cultivate, I think, feelings of strength and pride in children, along with giving them the tools they need to go off to the colleges of their dreams, that's always going to be relevant. But this story is urgent because Piney Woods is one of few standing. There used to be 100 Black boarding schools, and now we're down to a few. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And so to answer your question, this story is urgent today. It's urgent tomorrow. It was urgent yesterday, and I'm just happy it's out now.
And Dr. Crossley, to you, what inspired you as a former student and president today to uphold the Piney Woods mission of head, hearts, and hands by taking on the responsibility of producing the Piney Woods documentary? You had a huge part in making this happen as well.
Yeah, so yeah, yes and no. I gotta give JJ credit for really driving this forward. And so what you see in the film is young people who are in a space that accepts them for who they are, right? And allows them to be truly the best, right, person that they can be. Piney Woods, my inspiration of Piney Woods has always been because it is my story. The Piney Woods story is, as you said, I went to school here, and so the Piney Woods story is my story, and I mean that in so many ways. Piney Woods was started from a vision, right? From a dream to provide an educational opportunity, head, heart, and hands for young people. And in many ways, when I came here as a young person, I was so completely lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Piney Woods was this space in which I could be really discover who I was in a safe space. I could mess up and knew it wasn't the end of the world. Piney Woods taught us that to whom much is given, much is required.
Say off camera, I did tell you that I didn't grow up this way, and you're right. This is in a different world, a different time where the rest of the world should be following suit of what you are doing and what everyone at Piney Woods is doing. JJ, how do you believe Sacred Soil, the Piney Woods School Story, contributes to a broader conversation?
Is that Black institutions like Piney Woods need our respect. They deserve our respect. They deserve our support consistently.
Why is it vital to involve the students as producers in the documentary? I love how they have those their own kind of clips embedded into the film, allowing them to see themselves as contributors from their own perspectives.
Absolutely. So thank you for this question. So before, going into production, I knew that I wanted to do 3 different mediums of visuals, right? And so you see the digital footage, and then you see the film footage. And I think what's most important is that camera footage that you're talking about. I knew that no matter how comfortable the kids were around us, that they were not going to be themselves the way they are with each other. And I wanted us to be able to see these kids the way that they see themselves, you know? And so it's also about giving them the tools to be empowered in their own storytelling. I cannot tell your story for you. All I can do is facilitate a safe space for you to do it.
Now, self-sustainability. How does Piney Woods utilize its 250-acre demonstration farm as a learning laboratory for students to understand agriculture and supply fresh produce to the community? Dr. Crossley, this is for you.
Yeah, so this notion of being sustainable is something that really goes back to our founding. Piney Woods began, as I mentioned, really on this vision. We didn't have a schoolhouse. We didn't. They literally were sitting around campfire style and learning how to read after the first student came along, and then donated. The first log cabin was donated. Along with that, 40 acres of land was donated, and they worked the land. And there were people who couldn't afford, and even in those days, people would come and they would have no money, so they would bring seed, or if they had a garden, they would bring food from their garden. And that's, so we lived on the land, and that's continued to be true. Piney Woods, we're very much our own space in the world. It's really a small town here in Mississippi. We have our own zip code, 39148, but we have our own drinking water system. We have fresh drinking water. We have our own lagoon system, wastewater treatment for essentially our sewer system, and we operate that on our own. We grow food on our farm, and we consume some of that food in our dining services, but we can also use some of that in our farmers market. And so folks listening, there are ways to do this. Land is such a huge resource. All the things, right? The things that we wear, right? The things that we eat, it all comes from the land, right? And so if you can leverage that land, we've got 1,000 acres in renewable timber. So we cut and replant timber every year. And the proceeds of that timber goes into scholarship dollars for our young people, because every young person at Piney Woods receives a scholarship from this institution. And it's a picture of sustainability that we're still working out. We've not figured it all out, but it is a clear picture of sustainability that we're continuing to execute upon.
Yes, sir. Now, Ms. JJ, as I close, I want to know something so special. What was the atmosphere? We talk about the atmosphere. What was the atmosphere while filming the choir scene and all of the students were hugging each other and they were vulnerable with each other? That was one of those things that almost made me cry. How was that, experiencing that?
That was really tough. It was beautiful and it was hard, the kids at Piney Woods, as I've said so many times, they're so committed to their education and to each other. They're there with a purpose and for a reason. And that comes with a rigorous program that's full of extracurriculars, that's full of just, regular classroom work, trying to get their social work in. And so I think, like any person, even if you're doing what you love every day, there is a point where you're tired, right? And Dr. Crossley, I know you've been there too. I've watched Dr. Crossley run around trying to raise funds for this school, in and out, in and out, in and out, and absolutely doing his best and rising to the occasion, being the director of this school. But there comes a point where you're tired, and I think that was what that moment was that day, is the kids were just feeling tired. What's beautiful about that is they had each other's arms, like you said, to fall into, and everyone on my crew cried. Everyone, even those who put up a strong face, ran to the bathroom and actually cried. And to be honest with you, I think that it actually brought our crew closer together, because it was one of those moments where those who didn't really have a full understanding of how special Piney Woods was, you got it then. And so I'll never forget that moment. I never would. But to answer your question, everyone was in tears. Everyone was in tears. Everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you both, JJ Anderson and Dr. Crossley. Before we close this out, I know that you guys are looking at the community to help grow and sustain Piney Woods. Can you please tell us how we can help you all?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing is that folks can go and watch the documentary, which is on Hulu right now, and they'll get insight into who we are. And that's really important because sometimes people have heard of us, but they don't really know. And so that's certainly an action they can take. And then, we need support. JJ talked about the lack of resources, and we fight through that. Right. She talked about being tired. We fight through that every day, but we need those resources. And so at pineywoods.org, our website, people can make a gift to support our young people. Or if they're interested in coming to be a part of our community, they can apply for consideration of scholarship. And so go to pineywoods.org.
Thank you both for representing us across the world. I really love the work that y'all do together, and JJ, and specifically the work that you do is beautiful and reminds me of Ava DuVernay. So just thank you both again, and y'all continue to be wonderful.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And this has been one of my favorite interviews by far. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.